Welcome to A Cup of SpiritualiTea. We're so glad you're here. This is a space where spirituality feels like having a cozy chat over a cuppa with friends. Today, we're exploring the language of flowers and their use as oracles, the gentle and often forgotten way of communicating. Now, we'll be chatting about questions people often ask, such as the spiritual meaning behind common flowers, how flowers have been used for guidance through history, simple ways to receive messages from nature, using flowers as intuitive oracles, how to trust what you feel a flower is saying to you. So, whether you're completely new to flower symbolism or you already feel connected to nature's wisdom, this conversation will help you explore flowers in a deeper and more intuitive way. And we'd love for you to say hello in the comments, like this video, share it with anyone who'd enjoy it, and let us know your thoughts and questions. This show is all about you, your curiosity, your journey, and your growth. And of course, if we don't get to your question in this episode, then don't worry. It may become a topic of a future show. We're here to create a community of learning, connection, exploration. And most importantly, this is a safe, judgment free space where everyone is welcome to share and grow.
Absolutely. We're building a space where we can all learn from each other, connect with like minded souls. And whether you're brand new to spirituality or have been on your path for a while, there's always something new to explore. So settle in with your favourite cuppa and let's introduce ourselves properly.
Yes, so I'm Ray, and I'm a spiritual guide and healer who's passionate about helping you remember your divine presence and step into your purpose. Through angelic Reiki, guided meditations, and exploring past and future lives, I support you in healing your past and creating a soul aligned future. Now, my journey has taught me with the right tools and guidance, we can all connect with our higher selves, embrace transformation, and live a life full of abundance and fulfillment. I'm here to hold space for you as we explore spirituality together in this safe and supportive community. Sally?
So, I'm Sally Hart, and I'm a women's trauma informed somatic coach. I help women to become their most best and illumined selves. I also facilitate women's circles, women's groups, meditation groups. Um, at this on Saturday, we've got an online and in person Meet Your Unicorn Day, a little workshop Saturday afternoon if you're interested in that. Yeah, and so I'm all about empowering women, to be their best selves, and it's about building a tribe, building a sisterhood, because I mean, together we're great. On our own we're great, but together we're amazing, and that is what it's all about, bringing in the new earth through working together in collaboration rather than against each other.
Yeah, absolutely. So shall we talk about the language of flowers?
Oh yeah, that's a good idea. Did you want to start,
Um, yeah, I can do.
or do you want me to? I don't mind.
Uh, oh, you start. I've been doing a lot of
Okay,
talking.
all right, that'll save your voice a bit. So I didn't know very much about this before we started, and I've been really interested in this, and I actually feel that I'm going to do more investigation, actually buy some books on this because it is so interesting. So the language of flowers is called florography, and it stretches back to the ancient Egyptians and ancient Greeks and Romans. So there was meaning assigned to each flower, and what I'll do, I will give you a little rundown of the flowers and their meanings. And what I thought was, and it has happened occasionally when I'm connecting with a guide or somebody's passed over and they show me a flower, they're showing me because there is a meaning attached to that flower. So these are some of the common meanings. So for a red rose, it means passionate and love, which explains why we give them on Valentine's Day, doesn't it? A white lily is purity and innocence. A forget me not, weirdly enough, is remembrance. Lavender is, that surprised me, lavender, it's serenity and devotion. But then I suppose the smell of lavender does kind of relax you, doesn't it? So it does fit. Now, a dahlia, it was elegance and inner strength. And I always think dahlias are such show off flowers. I love dahlias. And I call them like the drag queens of flowers because they're so flamboyant and out there. And look at me, and it's getting to autumn, and all the other flowers are, oh no, I'm getting too old now. And then the dahlias come through, and they're big and they're blousy and they're vibrant, and they look at me. I love them, but I wasn't expecting it to be elegance because they are really out there, I feel, for dahlias. So marigold was for grief or despair. Violet, faithfulness and humility, and I think that kind of fits because violets are such tiny little flowers, aren't they, that grow in the shadows and where it's not too bright. Peonies, they really fit because it's prosperity and good fortune. And, and peonies are kind of like, I feel, quite similar, not as flashy as a dahlia, but they're still quite bold. Now thistle, I think, really matches its name because it's resilience, and then nobility because it's a Scottish national flower. Black-eyed Susan, which I don't even know what that is justice and encouragement. And interestingly about the chrysanthemum, in Europe it means mourning, as in grieving, and in Asia it means longevity and joy. The literal complete opposite. Literally. Have you got any you want to add,
Yeah,
Ray?
well, I want to add sunflower.
Mm-hmm.
Obviously with the sunflower, you think of joy, warmth, positivity, happiness, optimism, because they naturally turn towards the sun as they grow,
Yeah.
so they also symbolize hope, light, and staying positive even during difficult times. And I think because they're also so big and strong as well, loyalty and strength.
Oh yeah.
Then of course we've got the daisy, innocence, new beginnings. Daisies really are simple, cheerful flowers that traditionally symbolize innocence, purity, and fresh starts. And because they often appear in spring and early summer, they're often linked to renewal of new life.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Yeah, and they also carry a feeling of lightness and simplicity, reminding us not to overcomplicate things, which we tend to do. And also tulips, affection, renewal, heartfelt feelings. Tulips are strongly connected with spring, renewal, and fresh energy, and they often symbolize affection, kindness, and heartfelt feelings. And because they, again, also appear early in the year, they also represent hope and the sense that something new is beginning. So, what's your favourite flower?
Tulips, and everything you've just said there so resonates. Yeah, so yeah, I love them so much that Ian and I don't do Valentine's flowers as such. What we do is when the tulips come into season, he buys me tulips, like supermarket tulips, for as long as they're in season, which equates
Oh,
probably to the cost of a big bunch of like Valentine's flowers. But that's what I just have. So all through tulip season, my house is full of tulips. Yeah,
wow.
they're my literally ultimate favourite flower, and I try every year to grow them, and the squirrels get them every time. So I put garlic spray on them, or I put on Vaseline and chili pepper. This year I've got a cloche and garlic spray, and the heads are coming up, the buds are there, and I'm just so hoping that I get some in my own garden this year. But yeah, my dream, one of my dreams, is to actually go to Holland and see the tulip fields. But then I feel like, oh my god, I might pick the bulbs because I just don't know if I could leave them there. That's the thing.
Well, I'm
Yeah,
sure
and
they'd sell. I'm sure they
I bet
sell
they
them.
do actually. Thinking about it, they probably do because I just and like Wicked. Well, the tulip fields in Wicked, they're actually near Norfolk where we go on holiday sometimes, and you had the opportunity to buy the tulips from Wicked to grow in your own garden, and I was so keen to do it, but you can only do it like by the 50 or the 100 bulbs, and
Oh,
I just couldn't do that. So unfortunately, I don't have the Wicked tulips in my garden.
oh well.
Gutted.
Never mind. So, for those of you watching, name your favourite.
Yeah,
What's your
I want to
favourite
know.
flower? We have Amanda who's
Hey,
here,
lovely.
and um, Ujil as well. And we'll get to Amanda's question in a little bit because we've got something about that. My favourite flower, believe it or not, is lavender.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, I love lavender, and my mum has always loved sweet peas.
they come a close second for me.
Yeah, she loves those. I've tried when I first moved into the house. I actually every year tried to grow them, so you could take some to her. Sometimes it worked, some years it didn't. But yeah,
Oh,
she loves her. She does love sweet peas. Um, so Amanda has asked, what about all different coloured
oh,
flowers?
funny you should ask that, Amanda. I think Ray might know the answers to that.
I do. And then she's mentioned that like tie dye, so I'll come to that as well.
Oh,
In a minute. So yes, the colours of flowers actually can change the meaning. Well, not meaning, but it just adds another layer to the actual
hmm.
flowers. So red obviously is love or passion, pink kindness or admiration, white purity, peace, remembrance, yellow friendship, joy, purple spiritual awareness or wisdom. Um, so a red rose might symbolize love, while a yellow rose might represent friendship. You know, but some flowers are actually quite surprising. For example, yellow roses once symbolized jealousy. Hydrangeas were linked with vanity,
I've
and
got loads of
even
them in my garden.
this is in the past.
Because
It's
I'm
different now.
actually really not vain.
And even herbs like basil carried symbolic meanings of good wishes. But over time, the meaning of yellow rose softened, and that's when they came to represent warmth, friendship, and joy, which is how most people see them today. And in modern day times, hydrangeas are often associated with gratitude, heartfelt emotion, and understanding. So that's something to remember. So it just goes to show how people have always used nature to reflect human emotions and the colours, and sort of like dyeing of flowers, tie dyeing of flowers. That again can change the meaning of the flower that you've got.
Mm,
So say like you had a red rose and you, I don't know, sprayed it purple. Why you would, I don't know, but you're sort of like changing the meaning of that flower
mm,
to whatever purple means for you.
mm,
Because we all have our own interpretations.
mm.
And that's where the language of flowers actually um, comes in, because so in Victorian times, which is when obviously it was mainly flowers, wasn't it? It's sort of
Yeah.
like chaperones and, little messages to your sweetheart, etc. But a bouquet of flowers could say something like, thank you, I admire you, or even I miss you, simply through the flowers chosen. And of course,
Lovely.
and I think there were books and everything at the time that people understood what flowers meant. But it could be that if you two knew each other and you kind of like could say, okay, well, if I'm carrying, I don't know, I've got a daisy in my pocket today, that means I can't meet you. So you could create your own meanings
Yeah.
um, to them. Um, and I think they were called in the Victorian era. They were called, a small bouquet was called a tussie mussy. Is that right?
Yeah, I read that as well. What a lovely name.
I know it's a tussie mussy. Um,
Yeah.
So, a red rose could mean love, apple blossom meant you are my preference, and forget me nots, as you said, would say remember me. So, when you put them together, the bouquet itself became a message. And also, holding a bouquet at heart level meant interest, and holding it downwards meant not this time. How
Oh
how
wow.
how simple is that? So it's sort of like, yes, I'm interested in you. No, I'm not interested in you at this
Oh
time.
wow.
How subtle is
Yeah,
that?
because I know they used to have fans, and there's messages and fans, but I had no idea about the bouquets. Like probably when they're out promenading or something. Yeah,
Yeah. So of course, when you think about it, brides, they carry the bouquet at chest level, at heart
yeah.
level,
Oh yes.
which I think is
Oh
a pretty cool thing. So so again, watching, what do what flowers mean? Would you create your own bouquet of flowers? Let us know
yeah,
what you would put in them, because that'll be
yeah,
quite
yeah.
interesting to find out. So what else have you researched and found out about
Well,
flowers?
I decided to look up. I'm really keen at the moment. In my group, if you come to my groups, you'll know I'm very keen on ways of getting into meditation deeper and helping people with things like that. So I looked at flowers for healing, flowers for psychic awareness and intuition, and for lucid dreaming and deep meditation. So I thought I'd go through some of those.
Yeah,
And what I thought was, yeah, because what I thought was, some flowers like calendula and things, you can dry them and put the petals and make tea and that kind of thing. And some of the flowers, but you could just bring into your room where you're meditating or connecting to spirit. And so I just thought it was really interesting to look at that. So calendula is one of the great healers. So calendula is a marigold, and it's really anti-inflammatory and antimicrobial. um, Chamomile is very relaxing, and I didn't know it aids digestion as well as reducing anxiety. Echinacea, now, oh my gosh, echinacea is like a hero,
yeah,
because whenever you come down with a cold, the minute you start to feel cold, if you take echinacea, you won't come down with a cold as badly. You still get a bit of it, but it doesn't stay as long as it would. And echinacea flowers, you get them they're normally dark purple, and they come out in autumn, but they grow in England, so they're very easy to get hold of. Then St John's wort is used for depression and nerve pain, and St John's wort is actually part of the daisy family, I think.
mm,
And St John's wort is also very easy to grow. Passion flower is used. No, you think it's for passion, wouldn't you? But no, it's for calming anxiety and for calming overactive minds, which I didn't know. Now, I'm moving on to flowers for psychic awareness and intuition. Now, mugwort, I did try mugwort to try and help lucid dream. I don't know if I told you about it. So I bought some
no,
mugwort tea. I brewed it quite strong, and mugwort's all around the gardens. Yeah, and I brewed it strong, and 10 minutes, nothing. 20 minutes, I was like, oh my life, this is so amazing. I was getting loads of stuff through from my guides, everything. And then it became like a bad trip. And then I laid down, the world was spinning, the bed was spinning, I felt sick. Is it Winnie the Pooh and the Heffalumps or something?
yeah,
When he's
yeah.
eaten too much honey, and that is exactly what it was like. And that's just mugwort tea from Etsy. And I must have brewed it too strong. It was awful. I've never gone near it since. So that's something to bear in mind. Don't brew it strong.
Or
And the
where
other one is
you
blue.
or where you buy it from, because
Oh yeah, that's
who
true.
knows what, maybe those people on Etsy might put something else in there.
Oh no, I never thought of that. I never thought of that. I think they
Mm.
were quite legit.
Oh, okay.
I'm going to go and check them out in a minute after this. You've
Sorry,
got me
people,
worried
if you are
now.
legit. We won't
Luckily
name.
they don't. Luckily they don't know who I am.
No.
Oh, but we always have one of these every time now. We always get a giggles thing every time. Right. Okay.
Moving on.
And breathe. Oh yeah, so the next one's Blue Lotus. Now we do use Blue Lotus oil and Blue Lotus tea in our circles, and that is beautiful. It's really part of the divine feminine. You get into this dreamlike meditative state, and it is beautiful. And what's really good is that if you ground yourself afterwards and have a bit of chocolate, you're straight back the way you were. So that's beautiful. And jasmine has a similar effect, which I didn't know. So if you bring jasmine, like prune some jasmine and bring it into a meditation space, that will heighten awareness. Which, and I've got lots of jasmine, so I'm going to be doing that in future. Then for lucid dreaming, as well as mugwort, we've got valerian. And then I didn't realise rose. If you put rose petals under your pillow, it's associated with folk tradition, and it will give you prophetic and emotionally meaningful dreams. How
Ah,
beautiful is that? And
yeah.
then for deep meditation, we've got frankincense flower, lotus again, lavender, jasmine, blue lotus, and one I was surprised at was cherry blossom. It's really good for meditating because it teaches the art of presence and letting go.
Oh,
I know. So if that's what you really need to do, and to do that little bit of shadow work or inner work, then cherry blossom is the thing. Yeah.
oh, excellent. Yeah.
So that's finished those. Is there are there some other things you'd like to talk about?
Yeah, just waiting to see if no one else has put any questions yet. And don't forget, if you're watching this on replay, type in any questions, and we will come back. We'll
Yeah.
circle back to answer them. One question that people have asked, can flowers appear as signs? Yes, I mean, for example, if you see the same flower repeatedly, then there may be a message there, What does that flower mean to you? Do you associate it with somebody, a feeling, an emotion? What is it that you know about that flower that's, and it's repeatedly you're seeing it? That's a message for you to look into that a little bit more deeply. If you find a flower unexpectedly in a place where you don't expect to find flowers, again, what does that flower mean to you, to family, to emotions? Because obviously that's a message for you. Or if you're strongly drawn to
Yeah.
a particular flower, again, what is that? What does that mean to you? What is that sign? You know, but rather than taking it literally, see it as an invitation to pause and reflect on what that flower represents rather than going too deeply into it. And you'll be amazed at what messages you might get from there. You obviously like tulips, Sally, but have you ever been where you've suddenly been drawn to a flower at all?
Um. Yeah. I've never found it since, but when we were in Singapore many years ago, there was this pink flower, and it was everywhere. And I think it was maybe like hibiscus or something like that. So I bought what I thought was the same thing, and it's growing in the garden now, but it doesn't look a thing like it. But this pink flower is everywhere. It's on the sides of the road, on the streets, like a shrub. And I still haven't got the flower, but it's still, I don't know how to find it now because you know I didn't take photos at the time, and that was before digital cameras, so I've got no way of finding it now. What
Yeah.
about you?
I would say, and I remember this from my childhood, and I know I looked for them for a long while, and I think they were called snapdragons, and I could be
Oh
wrong. The
yeah,
ones where you used to push the sides and their mouths open.
yeah.
I
I've
love
got lots of those in the garden.
those. And that whether you can actually get seeds of those or bulbs
Yeah,
of those um,
seeds.
seeds.
They grow like weeds. They're so easy. And if you buy some bedding plants of snapdragons, they will self seed, and you'll get them year after year.
Ah, okay. I might do that when I get my
Yeah,
retreat property. Be sprinkling them everywhere.
yeah, definitely.
Good,
Do
because
that in candy tuft, and it'll be beautiful.
yeah, no, that'll be good. Because yeah, when I get my retreat property, I mean, I did start doing it here, um, but it will be, they'll be growing flowers. Um, So even before we're talking about the language of flowers, I've been thinking about how flowers can be used to actually, create the space, the atmosphere that I actually want at the retreat. So again, it'll be sort of like now I'll be looking more at what flowers I'm going to use.
Yeah.
Um, there. So, hi, Nita. Thank you for
Hello.
joining us. We're talking about the language of flowers. Any flowers that that you're drawn to, that you particularly love? Have you got any questions about flowers? Let us know. We'd
Yeah.
we'd love to hear from you. Um, so before I get on to using flowers as an oracle, why don't you tell us a bit about roses?
Yeah. So it was a while back that I started getting into roses, because if you watch this show regularly, you'll know I'm massively into empowering women, the divine feminine, Mary Magdalene, and all that. So I thought what I'd like to do is to talk a little bit about roses and their power. So the first thing is that the rose goes back to sort of ancient Greece and Rome, because Aphrodite or Venus, Aphrodite is ancient Greek, Venus is the Romans version, is goddess of love, and she had a rose. And in ancient Egypt, roses were put into the tombs of people when they died, because they were associated with goddess Isis, and she is also, well, she's the great mother goddess, and so she was brought in. The rose symbolized her, so it's like they were bringing her in to help these people transition in the underworld, which I think is beautiful. And then, because of goddess Isis, when Christianity came along, they decided to put Mary Magdalene and Mother Mary with a rose also, so that people were like, oh yeah, yeah, oh look, she has a rose just like goddess Isis and Venus and Aphrodite. Okay, yeah, so she must be legit, so we'll worship her now, just like our other goddesses. And it was a way of linking the former religions with the new religions. And in fact, there's the rosary. So the rosary is, normally I'm wearing one, but I'm not today. The rosary is beads, and each time you hold a bead, you say a prayer. So I don't do the Catholic rosary. I've got my own goddess version of the rosary. And that comes from people back in the day worshipping Isis and goddess Inanna, walking and putting rose petals down and putting them at their shrines, and that morphed into rose petals, which then again, Christianity decided to make rosaries, so that it was that link with goddess Isis and the past. And in fact, on the medal in the middle of a rosary, it has the symbol of Inanna on the back, left over. Yeah. So the rose, it's sacred geometry. So when you look at a rose from above, it's a Fibonacci sequence, 1 1 2 3 5 8 13 and so on, and each petal's positioned approximately 137.5 degrees from the last petal, which is how you get this Fibonacci sequence. It's a bit like ferns when they unfold. That's Fibonacci sequence as well, and they call it the golden ratio. And when you plot those points of a rose, you're also, the flower of life grid for crystal grid, like sacred geometry. That is the plotting of the rose petal. Yes, oh my god, that is the plotting of the rose petals, because each of those are at 137.5 degrees. Those cross lines. So you can use the rose as a mandala. You can use the rose as a labyrinth. A wild rose has 5 petals, and 5 is really it's got profound significance, because we have the pentadactyl limb, so 5 things, and there's a point when babies are in the womb that they look like other animals in the womb. You can't really tell because they all look the same and they're just beginning with the limbs. And then the pentadactyl limb goes into hands for humans, flippers for dolphins, hooves for like horses and cows and that kind of thing. And then the other thing is that the vibration of the rose, it vibrates at 320 megahertz, which is the highest vibrational frequency ever recorded for a plant substance. So the human body is between 62 and 78 megahertz.
Wow.
Yeah, and the rose vibrates, and when you're in sort of in alignment with yourself and quite, you know, you're bringing in the light and you've got a quite high vibration, you can almost feel the buzz of.
Oh,
Am I back?
you're back.
Yeah. So, you know that thing that you do in energy work sometimes, when you do that and you can feel the energy going between your hands and you can feel it building, that same fizziness that you have in your hands, if you breathe in from your crown chakra and just bring the energy in. I'm back. Sorry about that, guys. It's the internet, but at least it's only happened once this time. Yeah, so I was talking about the rose and the vibrations. So, you know, when you do that with your hands and you do that and you can feel the energy, well, if you draw in what I call the golden grid of light and get yourself into a meditative state and put your hands like that around the blossom of a rose, you can feel that same vibration. It's phenomenal, and it's really worth doing if that's something you're interested in.
I'll give that a go. So, anything more on roses?
No, I think that was it actually. So weirdly it cut out at just the right time. Yeah.
Cool. So, one thing that has been asked is, can flowers be used as an oracle? So yes, you know, as with all things, as we've spoken about on one of our previous shows, and I'll put the link to it where we talked about tools that you can use. You can actually use flowers similar to oracle cards. So instead of drawing a card, you might notice what flower you're drawn to, you know, receive a flower as a gift, see a flower repeatedly during a walk, you know, pick a flower intuitively. You know, you can then explore the symbolic meaning of the flower and see how it relates to what is happening in your life. You know, it becomes less about prediction and more about reflection and gentle guidance. So it's a great one, you know, for using it as an oracle. So have you ever tried using flowers as an oracle? Let us know, because it's a brilliant way of actually, you know, getting guidance, and it's, you know, you're not spending money. You know, you go outside and you think, oh, I wonder if I can, you know, I wa- I'm feeling down today. I wonder if I do this, whether this, you know, is the right thing for me to do. You know, do that, close your eyes and then open your eyes and see what flower you notice. And maybe that flower is one that you can actually use as guidance and something for you. So that's, you know, one thing that you could possibly do with flowers, just to see if you can get that guidance, that inspiration from them to to get that message of where you're going, what you're doing, or what you're not doing. You know, and getting that in nature is really a good thing to do. And you can also do, and I'm pretty sure we've all done this at some point, and that is pulled petals off flowers. You know, hands up if you've pulled petals off flowers. I think all of us have at some point. Um, so you can actually do a 1 minute flower petal oracle. So all you do is you simply take a flower, even a small garden flower, and hold the flower gently and take a slow breath. think quietly about something in your life that you would like clarity about, and remove one petal at a time, placing each one down in front of you. And as the petal falls, notice the first word, feeling, or thought that comes to mind. And often by the last petal, you may find that a small insight has appeared. And another simple way is to go and visit a park or somewhere that has flowers, or get a picture of mixed flowers online. Take a quiet moment, ask a question, or set an intention. Choose or notice a flower that stands out to you. Look up its traditional meaning. Reflect on how that message might relate to your life. Sometimes the meaning feels very clear, and other times it simply offers something to think about. Or maybe flower oracle decks, you know. And whilst we're waiting for Sally to come back, have you ever noticed how being around flowers or nature can sometimes help your thoughts become clearer? Do you think nature in general communicates with us if we slow down enough to notice? Let us know in the comments, because we always like to hear from you as to what your thoughts are with regard to this and any of the questions that we ask, um, because it really helps with the show. So, have you got anything else you want to share about flowers?
No, I just want to apologise that I keep dropping out. There's quite a big storm here at the moment. I'm wondering if that's got something to do with it. 'Cause
That probably.
it's pretty stormy now, and I keep hearing branches land on the cabin roof, so it's
Oh
pretty
gosh.
stormy. So,
Yeah. So yeah, the storm is probably affecting you there. Um. So um. We leave that with flowers at the moment. I've got a little something to go out at the end with. So
yeah.
that's to do with flowers. So before we get to that, what guidance have you been given this week, Sally?
So it's really interesting because we we had that period of warmth, and then we're really going for it thinking it's spring, and now we've got this and it's like it's winter, and it's the energy really of a lot of things are going on under the surface and they're making their way to the top, and it's the energy of unfurling, and it's about choosing so about what you need to nourish yourself at this time, because there is so much going on in the world and the energies are all over the place, and I expect things are in retrograde and all of that, and because I can feel it in the energy. And it's about, so bulbs and flowers, really they need water and sunlight, and they need manure, and they need soil. That's a bit like us. We need nourishment, we need nurture, we need joy, we need fun. And it's about which of those elements are we gonna focus on bringing into our world, into our little bubble, to enable that unfurling to gradually start without throwing ourselves in or without retreating back into winter. So it's that liminal space between the seasons. So that's what the energy's been about probably the last 2 weeks.
Wow. Yeah, no wonder I've not been well and I've not wanted to go out
Yeah,
anywhere. Because the energy, wow, that's really interesting. Yeah, because we have sort of like thought, oh, it's getting warmer, but then
yeah,
that old wife's tale saying keeps coming to my head: never cast a cloud till May is
May's
out.
out. Yeah, and that is so true. Yeah, it's so true
Yeah,
at the moment.
yeah, absolutely. Well, I know I mentioned flower oracle decks. I don't have a flower oracle deck. So the closest in my cards that I came to were the Oracle of the Magical Fairy Forest.
My favourite.
Oh, we do love these cards. And the Frolix cards are so beautiful. And these are just, I mean, look how they fit into your hand. They are so nice and uh, pretty. So let's see. Cleansing the blessed. So, what does everyone who's watching this live or the replay need to know for their highest good? The moment they hear this message, what does everyone who's watching this live or the replay need to know for their highest good? The moment they hear this. Okay, so let's see what card wants to come out. So we have got Dance of the Fire Fae. Do not fear your inner flame. Awaken your passion. How beautiful is that?
Stunning.
So, what this is saying for the collective is that this is a time to dance, to actually bring that fire out of you, that deep inner strength that you've got. You know, we've suddenly, in the Northern Hemisphere, in the UK, you know, we have suddenly got this colder weather. Well, bring that passion, that fire out. You know, do not fear your strength. Do not allow your flame to be diminished. This is the time now to allow your flame to actually ignite, to be seen, to shine, to burn, you know, so that you can create the most amazing things in the world and create an amazing world. So don't let your flame be diminished. Light up, go for it. Um, you know, just shine your light. So yeah, it's a beautiful card that came out for
Beautiful.
us.
Yeah, and also I think it's good because it's like it may not be warm out, but we can generate our warmth. We can embrace our inner fire and get that glow. Is it like Ready Brek? Was it Get Up and Glow?
Yes.
And that is what I feel. That sort of epitomizes the message from that card. Get up and glow.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, we like that one. So before we sort of like close out the show, and Ziggy has says hi, Sally, hi,
Oh,
good
hey
night.
Ziggy.
Which is lovely. Don't forget, if you've got any questions or anything about the language of flowers that we haven't answered, or you want some clarification on, or you want to share your favourite flower, you've got a few minutes to do that. So I just want to say about flowers, you know, they're such a simple part of nature, yet they can often carry so much meaning. And sometimes they remind us to slow down, notice beauty, and reflect on what might be unfolding in our lives. You know, so take that step out in nature to really connect or bring flowers or plants into your home so you can take that pause, that breath, that relaxation. And people also have used flowers to say goodbye. For example, sweet peas traditionally meant farewell, rosemary meant remembrance, and white rose symbolized respect. So a small bouquet of those flowers quietly says goodbye and I'll remember you. And that's what we want to share with you. You know, we're offering you this little bouquet of sweet peas, rosemary, and white rose um,
Yeah.
for you to actually say goodbye, but that you are remembered, and for you to remember us as well
Yeah.
and join us on any of our future shows. Or if you've missed any of our previous shows, go back and see you know what conversations we've had. You know, we've done so many different topics.
Yeah.
So after you finish watching this one, go back and watch some of the others.
Yeah.
um so yeah, so we'd like to thank you so much for
Thank
joining us today
you.
for A Cup of Spirituality, and we hope that you found something meaningful to take away from this episode. And remember, this is your community, and we'd love to hear from you. So don't forget to share your thoughts, like this video, and subscribe to our channels so you don't miss our next chat. And again, ascending universal butterflies, ladies, hope you're both well.
Oh, yes, thank you. Hope you are too, my love.
Yes, exactly.
Yeah, and if you feel you'd like to connect with us personally, you'll see all our details in the description below, and you can contact us on our website or social media. And we're really here to support you on your journey however we can. So I just want to put a little plug in that I've got on Saturday, as I mentioned earlier, I've got my unicorn workshop 2:30 to 5 on Saturday, online or in person. I've got a booking page now on my website. Woo, booking page,
Ooh.
woohoo! And also I have got on let me see when this is. I have got a Wednesday evening journaling group. The next one's on the the next one's 18th of March. If anyone fancies, that's online and in person. We're going to be looking at journaling with oracle cards. I journal almost every day with Anna's cards that Ray just showed earlier, so I can show you how to use those to journal to enable and help progress with your spiritual practice. So, have you got anything you want to mention, Ray, that's coming up?
Yeah, I'm running an Angelic Reiki workshop at the
Ooh.
end of April, but I can mention that. I'm running one in March, but I've got no space. But yeah, the next 1 and 2 is in April. On the 22nd of this month, I have my afternoon with the angels, which I run every month and been running for years now, where you can either, if you're in the Dartford area where I live or in the local area to me, you can join us in person. Or if you're not, then you can actually join us online, where we chat about angels. I do a guided meditation, we pull cards. And then those that are here in person, we go downstairs and have tea and cake or biscuits. Then once a month, every Tuesday, normally the second Tuesday of the month, I held an online meditation which takes place from 7:45 to 8:30. And that is online, so you can join anytime. So they're kind of like the things that I've got going on at the moment.
Oh, I wish I could join your meditation, but mine's the same day and same time. What a pain.
Always the way, always the way. We ought to do a
Anyway,
joint one day.
oh gosh, that would be lovely. Yeah, lots.
Yeah. You've,
That's definitely food for thought, isn't it, Ray? We
yep,
should.
you've heard it here, folks.
That would be amazing. Yeah. Anyhow, as I said before, we're here to support in your journey, and message us. We'd love to hear anything you've got to say. Really, we love it. We love it, and we do always circle back. So yeah, because as I said earlier, we're building our tribe really, and you're in it. All you guys watching, you are in our tribe, whether you like it or not. Anyway, so until the next time, take care, stay curious, and keep sipping on your spirituality. Bye for
Take care,
now.
everyone. Bye.